After 8 years of speculation, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is finally here. This might be my hardest review yet because to explain most of my thoughts on this movie, I would kind of have to get into spoilers, and I'm gonna try and keep this review spoiler free. The animatronics, first of all, look gorgeous. They're all practical, no CGI. They were made by Jim Henson Studios, and they did an amazing job. Some of the most impressive practical effects I've ever seen. He also had a lots of interesting concepts that added to the typical Five Nights at Freddy's ideals. And although I've seen a lot of people say the story was too complicated, I was actually impressed about how much they were able to simplify it because I know the story of Five Nights at Freddy's, so I felt it was simple because I knew how much they cut out. But I'm not sure how simple the movie will seem to someone who's not familiar with the franchise. But here's my biggest grievance with the movie. It's not that scary, and not a lot happens without giving too much away. I think everyone that knew remotely anything about this movie, whether they knew everything about the franchise or just saw one trailer, was expecting a horror film, because that's what Five Nights at Freddy's is. It's a horror franchise. Not only is this movie not scary, because, I hate to admit it, but I'm kind of a scaredy cat. And the sad part is, too, that at the beginning, it was scary. Like, they had an opening kill, and everyone in the theater was like, no, 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 what are you doing? And, like, they had another kill scene, and that was a little creepy, but, like, I'm not going to say what it is, but they do something to these animatronics, and after that I'm just not scared of them. When it came to the climax, I was just like, okay, you guys are kind of jokes now. But not only is it not scary, how do I should I say this? Is this spoiler? I'll just say this. Not much happens until the fifth night. I'm not sure if that's a spoiler, but I'm really can't talk about my thoughts on this movie without mentioning that. Like, I don't, it was just disappointing. Like, the animatronics are just gonna, oh my god, this is why it's so hard to not talk about spoilers with this movie. Okay, let's just say that there are two scenes where the animatronics are actually killing people. In a 2 hour movie, there are only two scenes where you get to see the thing that the movie was sold as. And that disappointed me. Another thing I didn't like about this movie, which I'll try not to give too much away for people who don't know a lot about the franchise, is the villain. I didn't really like how they handled him in this movie. He kind of shows up in one scene at the beginning, and then he kind of disappears until the very end of the movie. And this is going to be controversial, but I didn't like how he was portrayed in this movie. To me, the villain, I'm not going to say his name because that might be a spoiler, but the villain has always been sort of a calm, collected, scientific mind. And while I know there have been interpretations where he's been just your average serial killer, it was a little disappointing that that's the version we got. It was still pretty intimidating though, so I'll give him that. They like but don't affect my score of the movie. The Matt Pet cameo was epic. I was like, that voice sound kind of familiar, and then I looked up and oh my god, it's Game Theory. I really liked how they had YouTuber cameos. It really showed that they appreciate the community. Having the fan-made Five Nights at Freddy's song during the credits was pretty cool too. Also, the opening credits theme was pretty good as well. Since we're on the subject of community, I just want to say that you Five Nights at Freddy's fans are kind of wild, bro. I saw multiple people in costumes, and everyone was talking the whole time. But it was like an excited talking, not a distracted talking. There were multiple points where everyone clapped, and it was great. And you already know someone said, "Was that the bite of 87?" So, yeah, everyone was engaged and pretty loud about it, and I enjoyed it. You could feel the excitement. Five Nights at Freddy's, a 7 out of 10.